Hey, what's up and hello. This is the Chris Nicole bringing you my views on life, love, and the world of entertainment through my eyes. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, depending on what time you are watching this live. Hello, crew. Hope all is well. Make sure you hit the likety like button on the way in. Please hit the like button. So I wanted to give you an update. I cannot assume that everyone is updated on this case. So I decided to come on tonight to talk about this. For those who do not know, Carmelo Anthony is home. He is home and is on house arrest, okay? A judge actually reduced his bond from $1 million to $250,000. And due to that, on Monday, April 14th, and because of that, he was actually released from Collin County Jail Monday afternoon. He did not say anything, of course, when he was leaving the courtroom. He is fitted with an ankle monitor, and he will be on house arrest until he awaits, pretty much while he awaits trial. He cannot leave the house prior to approval from the court. He must be supervised by a parent or a designated adult at all times and is required to check in with the judge bailiff every Friday morning. He is not allowed to use social media and can't contact the family of the alleged victim in any way. Okay. Now, what's quite interesting about this is that he is still in school. So I guess he's going to be homeschooled at this point, since he has to be supervised by an adult everywhere he goes and has to get permission before he leaves. With that being said, I believe I saw somewhere that the parents were definitely saying they want and need to beef up security. And I absolutely agree. They were already going through a lot even prior to Carmelo getting out. Now that he is out, I would not put it past any of these ignorant people out there to try Carmelo and his family at this point. Not to mention the judge who reduced his actual bond is now having to beef up her own security. She had an X account, and from my understanding now, that X account is private. She is going through hell and back, okay? Now, her name is Angela Tucker, okay? She is a Black woman. And I believe she is the first Black woman, the first African-American, period, who has been appointed to her position in Collin County, all right? Now, she is Black. I honestly wish she would have been another color and did the same thing. But of course, what's going to happen is you're going to have people saying, oh, she's Black. She's protecting the Black boy. It can't be because she's trying to be about it being fair, but oh, she's protecting the Black boy and all of this nonsense, right? And of course, I've already seen people making these comments that, oh, these damn Democrats, these Democrats ain't shit. This is some BS. And now they're coming after her. Now, what's interesting is I did a little digging, just a little, on Angela Tucker, and y'all see that? Elect Republican Angela Tucker. You see that? Yeah, that's the same lady. Let me show you. Now that's her with darker hair. All right. This her. This is her. Collin County, Angela Tucker. She's a Republican. Okay? She's a Republican. A Black Republican at that. Which honestly, even with a lot of people going Republican this time around, still few and far in between when it comes to Black people. So she's not a Democrat, she's a Republican. So I'm curious to see what people are going to have to say about this now that they know that she's a Republican. Could it be that she felt like because he has had no criminal past at all whatsoever, that it was fair to reduce his bond? She didn't see him as a threat of any kind to flee or anything like that. Anthony is the oldest child, and he has 3 siblings. The family moved to the Dallas area in 2021. He was the captain of the football and track teams and had never been arrested before this incident. He worked at Foot Locker for 2 years and also worked a second job, I think, at the HEB. I think they call it HEB sometimes, if I'm not mistaken. I know that's like a southern spot. But yeah, 2 jobs, and captain of the football team, track teams, and apparently was a great student as far as his grades are concerned. So that's not fair, especially when there are witnesses stepping forward now. Okay? Now, this family definitely needs security, and I'm curious to see why I have not seen celebrities and prominent people step forward unless they are stepping forward behind the scenes and they really don't want their names put out there and they're kind of putting money under the table. We do know that for the most part, especially on the celebrity side, we have a lot of cowards, people who don't want to necessarily upset the masses. My thing is this: even you giving money to support this man doesn't mean that you're automatically taking his side. You just want him to have a fair trial. And a fair trial needs money. A fair trial and proper security needs a hell of a lot of money. Nation of Islam, where you at? Step up, because they need as much protection as possible. But I am actually going to play one of the witnesses, alleged witnesses, that actually stepped forward and made a comment about what he actually witnessed during that actual track meet. Okay, I am going to play it. Fair use. It seems like all of the bigger channels have this. I don't know exactly where they got it from, so I'm going to play it. And yeah, we're going to listen to this, and then you guys are going to let me know what you think about this. This is allegedly a witness who actually saw what was going on, okay?
And they got rained out like crazy bad. Everybody trying to get back to their cars or get in, places where they, wouldn't get all extra wet. Dude was sitting up on the tent, right? He was on his phone, right? My daughters was up under the same goddamn tent. Yeah. So I'm paying attention to my kids, but at the same time, they're in the same vicinity. So I'm watching everything going on around it because I'm there for my children. So dude walks up, McKellen, bro, he wasn't even under the tent at the time. They came from a whole separate tent and walked over there. They intentionally went over there to this kid, man. Dude was sitting there on his phone just trying to get dry. You feel me? One thing went from another. They grabbed this man and they tried to punch on dude. Dude went in his bag and whatever. They went to try to jump this dude and punch on this dude, man. And he protected himself, dude. That's what happened. Yeah. It wasn't just one. It was both of them, bro. Austin, the dude that's got unalive, and his brother physically went over there to intentionally. It's not to the point that he brought a knife. For one, it wasn't on school property. The school is at least 5 to 10 miles away. It was community track meet, bro. It wasn't a school track meet. So he had the right to have a knife on his person, bro.
Okay, so that is from an alleged witness. He says that his daughters was also under the tent where KARMELO was. He is saying that the twins were not even under that tent. They came from a whole nother tent. Words were exchanged. And he's saying that both of them tried to jump KARMELO, and KARMELO was protecting himself. Now, as far as him saying him having a pokey, that it was not at the school, it was a community event, Reality is it probably still it's illegal to have. So that would definitely still be a charge of some sort, just not the charge that they're charging him for. But that is one witness, right? Now, for those who follow me, I actually did a short based on my last video that I did about this. And I was saying, of course, this is all about race. And I did a short on it. And quite interesting the response that I got, because, of course, people who are on both sides definitely responded to what I said, saying that this is all about race as much as people are trying to say that it's not. I would say more people are making this about race than the few who are actually just looking at what they know as the facts, okay? And so I received interesting responses in regards to this. And so I'm going to show you. So, like I said, I put on here, is KARMELO being judged before a trial because he's Black, racial bias exposed? And so I had people responding to me saying, you can't poke someone for pushing you. The force you use needs to be somewhat equal to the force used against you. His life was not in danger. Then you have someone saying, if the guy didn't show up with, the pokey, this would have been nothing more than a shoving match. A few names exchanged, but he chose to show up armed and ready for confrontation. Now, interesting enough, I just simply said, especially to the first person, thanks for sharing. Apparently, witnesses are stepping forward, and there is more to the story. We will see. Because one thing about it, I already knew I probably was going to get a mixed response. But I'm not about to get out of character, because in my personal opinion, that's what a lot of people want. They want the rage. They want me to sit up there and get pissed off. I'm not about to do it. I've, to me, given a fair assessment over the situation until more proof comes out. I am very curious to see all of the footage that they claim that they have. Now, with that being said, make sure you guys hit the like button. Please hit the like button, please. Now, with that being said, I got an alert today of someone making a comment that I found quite interesting that grabbed my attention on this same post that I actually had. And this person says, yes, it is. Now, he's responding to what this other gentleman said about you can't poke someone for pushing you. The force needs to be somewhat equal, right? This person says, yes, it is, because you don't know how far someone will take it. He could have shoved KARMELO to the ground and start stumping on KARMELO's head. You want KARMELO to wait to defend himself, but at what point it would be too late and KARMELO may be the one unalived. And literally this person says, I wasn't fair personally, but my son was, and said Austin was in the wrong. And KARMELO did truly defend himself from a violent attacker. I'm not racist, so I'm not simply going to take Austin's side because he's white like me. Unlike some of you, I have morals. With a fist. This gentleman followed me and said, don't allow people to pretty much steer your thoughts on this. And I told him, I'm not allowing people to steer my thoughts on this. I'm just not going to give them the reaction that they want. And the truth will eventually, hopefully, come out. And he said, amen. So, interesting enough. And again, I'm going to go by based off of what this person is saying. We do know we have people on social media who like to claim certain things, but this person seems very adamant about what it said. He said he wasn't there, but his son was there. So the other witness said his daughters and him were there because he was watching his daughters. This person is saying that came on my page and said he wasn't there personally, but his son was there and saw it and said that Austin was also in the wrong. And KARMELO did nothing but truly defend himself from the attacker. And he is white. He is saying that he is white. And he's not going to take Austin's side simply because he's white. He has morals, and right is right and wrong is wrong. So yes, quite interesting. Now, we have an actual audio version of someone saying that it was the twins' fault. And then literally someone on my page, an exclusive comment, saying that his son was there and said the exact same thing Two different sides. Apparently, the guy that was talking that I showed you guys, well, do you listen to the audio? The picture that they showed, it appears that he is a black man. This guy who is typing is saying that he's white. So we have two different sides. We have a black person and a white person both saying that the twins were in the wrong. That they were in the wrong, and he was defending himself. So maybe, just maybe, that judge, I don't know to what extent, what information she has, what she's seen. I don't know if she's seen some of the footage that they claim, because remember my last video, we actually saw one of the civil rights organizations that is helping Carmelo. That man did state that there is footage out there and they have the footage. Who knows if the judge has seen it? If the judge has seen the footage, maybe just besides him being a good student who had 2 jobs and was getting good grades, maybe, just maybe, that mixed with actually seeing the footage made her decide this needs to be reduced, and he's perfectly fine being at home until trial begins. Possibly. Maybe. Make sure you guys hit the like button on the way in. Please hit the like button so I can get into the algorithm, please. Hitting the like button is free. So, different perspective from a black woman judge who's a Republican. Because, interesting enough, a lot of people on both sides like to say that black Republicans, well, they ain't like us. They are against the grain. They are against their community. To have a black Republican is to have someone who hates black people, right? So, interesting enough, we have here a black Republican judge who reduced his bond from $1 million to $250 million. I mean, $250 million, $1 million to $250,000. A black Republican said he can go home. He can go home. Thank you, Danielle. Please hit the like button. Please hit the like button. Thank you guys so much. Please hit the like button. It's greatly appreciated. So I would like to know your thoughts on this. It's very interesting. It's very interesting how this is unfolding. Now, I'm sure some people are going to say, oh, they could just be lying, trying to get clout, saying that they're witnesses, and we really don't know. Okay, fair enough. You can say that if you want. But what we do know is that this judge, who is the first black appointed judge from what it looks like in this county, has made a decision that can potentially probably cost her another election, decided based off her experience, based off, her law degree and experience and everything else, that I can reduce his bond. Period. So a lot of things are unfolding here, and I definitely am going to stay tuned. 7 people in the chat, please. I need 7 likes. Thank you so much. I'm going to stay tuned because now we have allegedly a black person and a white person saying them twins was in the wrong. Carmelo had every right to defend himself based off of what either they actually saw or what their child saw. Which means if these are legit witnesses that were there, chances are the defense will be calling them in to actually give witness statements and probably take the stand. And see, the reason why I say, you said fair is fair, the judge no playing the field isn't even, exactly, which is why I have on this. And like I say, and I'm going to say 50 times over, that I want the truth. But I also have on my thumbnail that fair isn't always equal. And what does that necessarily mean? fair isn't always equal. Fair meaning that sometimes, because treating everyone pretty much means treating everyone the same equally isn't always the most just or appropriate way to ensure fairness. Equally doesn't always ensure fairness, because the reality is we know we live in a racist country. We know we live in a capitalist country. So as individuals, some individuals have different needs and different circumstances that require tailored treatment for it to actually be equal. He already has things working against him. Has any recordings come out yet? No, I have not seen it. You're talking about the actual incident, right? I have not seen any. I haven't, which is so weird. It's so weird in this day and age that no one has leaked this yet. But apparently, the 3 letters that start with the F is investigating. They're investigating the threats that the family has been receiving. And they're probably going to investigate the threats that the judge is receiving too. So I don't know if it's so tight at this point because the feds could be getting involved in this situation. I don't know, but I do find it weird that no one has just easily just kind of slipped it and put it out there, because apparently there's several, it's not just one, several people recorded the incident. So I'm just like, that means someone is really making this super, super tight. But my thing is, it is very possible that the judge saw the footage to make her decision to reduce that bond. It makes sense to me. But again, I'm not an attorney. I'm not a judge. But considering the fact that we have had 2 witnesses that have said something that are in favor of Carmelo, something tells me that there is going to be way more to this story. What I do know is, however, is that this young man and his family need as much security as possible, ASAP, because, yeah. And these trials typically take a while. They're going to need that security for the whole entire time. Now, during the trial, and hell, after the trial, which, yes, is going to cost a lot of money. A lot of money. So people need to step up. People really need to step up in this situation and put their money where their mouth is. So yeah, you guys, I would like to know what you guys think about this. As again, just be respectful, because if you're not respectful, I will take you to the block party. But yeah, what do people have to say now? Okay, she's a black judge. They was calling her a Democrat. She's not. She's a Republican. They claim that black Republicans are the enemy. Well, this enemy released this young man. Released him. So interesting, right? So with that being said, I would definitely like to know what you guys think about this. Again, I just want him to have a fair trial. And fair is not always equal, and sometimes people need more to be able to get a fair trial. He's already black. He has his beautiful natural hair, locks, you know what I'm saying? And already would judge him just by his cover, when this young man has been the captain of 2 sports teams, worked 2 jobs, and kept his grades up. But no one wants to look at it on his end with all of that and possibly say, damn, no criminal record, all of this, and then just within a blink of an eye, he turns into an unaliver for no reason at all? Doesn't make sense. But at the same time, and rightfully so, they gave Austin his accolades by him being a star football player with practically straight A's, from my understanding. They didn't take that away from him, even though allegedly they're saying that he and his brother were bullies. But now Carmelo, none of that stuff matters. and he didn't have a criminal record, both the twins and Carmelo have had pals in their hands. Like I said, that does not matter to me because it's Texas. I'm sure a lot of them Texas fathers sit up there and take they kids, you know what I'm saying, powing or whatever the case may be in the woods. So yeah. So I would like to know what you guys think about this. He's on house arrest. I'm sure his family is somewhat relieved to at least have him in the house, but you know, I don't want anything to happen to them. So there's definitely prayers need to be sent up to protect this family because he still deserves to have a fair trial. And fair is not equal. So he's going to need way more to get a fair trial compared to some others. And that's just the facts. Whether you like it or not, it is the facts. He has so much against him being a black man, and especially a black man in Texas. So, with that being said, let's continue the conversation below. Let me know what you guys think about this because it's quite interesting at this point, and I'm ready to see what else unfolds. So please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you on my next video. Toodles.